So are we in daylight savings time right now or standard time? Because you probably don't know, and neither did I, and neither does the entire internet, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, I like to refer to this time as seasonal depression because I don't actually know if it's daylight savings or not daylight savings, but I feel it in my soul when I leave work and it is pitch dark outside, and I just know that I hate whatever this is.
This needs to stop now.
But how to fix this? That's the debate that is currently going crazy on X. Now, the discourse always starts around this time of year because it just gets dark so freaking early. This video sums up how I feel about this quite nicely.
Thanks. Happy Friday. Bye.
It is not yet time for slumber. Come, I shall prepare us a soup. My sister brought home some ingredients. How are the potatoes? Another famine. We've survived worse and we shall survive this. And how is mother? She's still ill. Never you mind that. You are too young to be troubled by such things.
They just riff on this for a full minute about how miserable it is to have to function in the dark while it's only 5 p.m. Now, someone commented under that video and they said, but seriously, 5:30 feels like 9 p.m. It really does. I mean, I just need some sun. I need vitamin D. I need a little bit of glow on my skin. And then I need to go home and use my mallow tallow on my glowing skin because I absolutely love a mallow tallow. Now, I started using tallow about 2 years ago. I was trying to detox all of my skincare products, and I learned that tallow was super good for your skin and was totally natural. Tallow is derived from beef fat and is loaded with beneficial nutrients for your skin, and it is especially great because it is an animal product, so it mimics your natural skin barrier, which means that it has optimal compatibility and absorption and will not clog your pores like other moisturizers. I mean, it is truly the OG skincare that goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. And one of the best places to buy tallow is with a mallow. A mallow is a small family-owned business that makes their tallow right here in the USA. They use the highest quality grass-fed, grass-finished tallow and use pure organic ingredients. I literally love all of their products. I can't even name a favorite. Every one of their products I would recommend to you guys, and I truly have every single one of them. I mean, they just sent me their tallow lip balm, which is super convenient because I've been carrying around their full little jars, but now I also have a lip balm container so I can just put it in my purse. It's so easy. It's so nice. Again, I cannot recommend their products enough because a mallow truly cares about you and what you're putting on your skin. And they're offering my viewers 15% off with promo code Conrad at amallow.com/Conrad. Again, that is amallow.com/Conrad and use promo code Conrad for 15% off. Once again, that's amallow.com/Conrad and use promo code Conrad today. A mallow is just so smooth and pleasant, unlike the transitions in and out of daylight savings time. Now, there has been a huge debate happening on X because of this very specific frustration that everyone is experiencing, but no one knows quite how to fix it. Now, there are three options. We either stay on daylight savings time permanently, we stay on standard time permanently, or we continue these yearly switches. Now, if you're still confused, hang in there because so is everyone else. Let's start with President Trump's announcement that he just made on Truth Social about this issue. He said, the Republican Party will use its best efforts to eliminate daylight savings time, which has a small but strong constituency, but shouldn't. Daylight savings time is inconvenient and very costly to our nation. Now, does everyone agree with Trump on this particular issue? Of course not. And Nate Silver, who is a pollster over on X, he definitely did not agree, and this particular tweet went mega viral and caused the debate to unfold even further. And he said, eliminating daylight savings time is a terrible idea. I ran the numbers and it would cost the average American 40 minutes of waking daylight per year in the summer. Now, I don't know if Nate means 40 minutes a day in the summer or 40 minutes as a whole, because that is making two vastly different points, one of which I would be very concerned if it was per day. But if it's on a whole, it's a less convincing argument. But nonetheless, he was very adamant about eliminating daylight savings is a bad idea, but the comments were very mixed. I mean, someone said, I would rather have that extra hour of light. That should be the permanent time. Someone else said, permanently set the clocks 30 minutes between standard and daylight savings time. So just so we're keeping track, that's now 4 different options and counting. Further complicating things is the growing feeling online that President-elect Trump may have actually misspoke when he was talking about his thoughts on daylight savings time, as this post on X pointed out. And he said, I feel like there's confusion about whether daylight savings time should be eliminated or made permanent. Senator Marco Rubio had the Sunshine Protection Act that passed the Senate unanimously, which made daylight savings time permanent, i.e. more light later in the day. Okay, to be clear, this is Rubio's actual take on the issue, and given his new role in the White House, I think that this is what Trump meant to say.
I don't know why we keep changing times back and forth. We should just pick one and stick with it. The one that we have 8 months out of the year is daylight savings time. I happen to like it because, one of the big problems we have in a lot of parts of this country is kids can't do anything after school because if you don't have a park with lights, then you're out of business by 4:30, 5 o'clock. It's a huge problem. My whole point is, let's stop switching back and forth. Let's stick with one. And if we're going to stick with one, let's stick with the one we already use 8 out of 12 months. And that's daylight savings time.
He makes some convincing points, and he made even more compelling arguments in his Sunshine Protection Act of 2023. He said potential effects of making daylight savings time permanent are things like reducing car crashes and car accidents involving pedestrians, which is something I would have never thought about, but is good nonetheless. He also said reduces risk for cardiac issues, stroke, and seasonal depression, which again, many of us are feeling here in standard time, so that would be very nice. He also said it reduces the number of robberies by 27%. I'll take it. That's great. Benefits the economy, reduces childhood obesity, and increases physical fitness, which is, again, a huge thing that we should definitely be focusing on. This all makes sense to me, and I'm tracking, but apparently the internet is still very confused, especially search engine AI bots who have no idea what's going on. I asked both Grok and Google Gemini this question. Are we in daylight savings now? Gemini got it wrong, Grok got it right. It's hilarious that even the robots do not know if we're in daylight savings time. So AI is confused. President-elect Trump may be confused. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson has no idea what daylight savings time is.
Please explain daylight saving time. I can't. It kind of makes no sense.
It doesn't.
All right, here's what they're doing. When the days are longer anyway in the summer, days meaning how many hours of sunlight you have, when the days are already longer, they take an hour from the morning and put it at the end of the day so that the sun sets even later. And then the winter comes around, just when you need sunlight in the evening the most, because days are getting shorter, they take it away and put it back in the morning when everyone is still asleep. Makes no sense to me at all.
I feel so much less alone in the struggle watching that video, but he did actually also say what daylight savings time is. So he does know, he just doesn't understand its importance or why we do it. One person said, I think it has to do with farming harvest. And then a farmer popped in and said, farmer here, we don't follow a clock.
Oh, right, because cows go off of our time and not the sunlight, which means farmers don't have to wake up an extra hour to milk their cows.
I did some research into daylight savings time to understand the origins of it, and Rubio even pointed to this in his Sunshine Protection Act, which said daylight savings time was enacted in the United States following Germany's 1916 effort to conserve fuel during World War I, and its period of observance has been lengthened. It's 2024. That was 108 years ago. We don't need to conserve fuel anymore, and as far as I'm aware, the Germans are not a threat. There is, however, a compelling argument to stick with standard time, which interestingly, Mexico just started implementing last year, so they no longer do daylight savings time. And one article said Mexico got rid of daylight savings time, should the US end it too? And this article said that research showing twice-a-year clock changes are linked to health problems, such as elevated risk of heart attack and stroke, arguing the evidence is clear that springing forward carries unnecessary risks. So now people are saying that it's healthier to stay in standard time rather than daylight savings time.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
So after all of this back and forth, one tweet from Robbie Starbuck really epitomized my thoughts on the matter. And he said, I know for sure that I hate changing our clocks every year, but I don't feel strongly about whether we should adopt standard time all year or daylight savings time all year. If you feel strongly about one over the other, give me your reasoning because I'd like to pick a side here. Me too, Robbie, me too. Someone said, there is a reason we shift times. Permanent daylight savings time means sunrises after 8 a.m. for much of the country deep into winter. Awful. And permanent standard time means sunrises before 6 a.m. for much of the country deep into summer. Equally awful. The problem is not the time change. The problem is how many less hours of daylight there are in the winter, and that has no solution. So I will leave you all with the one video that I saw that perfectly demonstrates how there are problems with both sides.
Wait a minute, it's only 4:30 and it's already getting dark out? Man, I hate daylight savings time. We had to flip the clocks back, so now I'm gonna be depressed all winter long. I need more light in the evening, damn it. Wait a minute, if you need more light in the evening time, it doesn't sound like you hate daylight savings time. It sounds like you hate the lack of daylight savings time. What are you talking about? See, daylight savings time starts in the spring, when we spring forward an hour to give us the illusion of having later sunsets in the spring and summer. But we're actually going back to standard time in the fall. So right now, this is what normal time would look like without daylight savings time. Let's do it. Permanent daylight savings time. Let's make it happen. 8:30? What the hell? I'm late for work. Why is it so dark in here? Is it still nighttime? What's going on? Oh yeah, this is what it's like with permanent daylight savings time. With permanent daylight savings time in the winter, the sun would rise at nearly 9 a.m. in some parts of the country. And what about kids who have to go to the bus stop around that time of day? Hey, Every kid for themselves. No. This is not going to work at all. Daylight savings time. I always knew it was the problem. We need no daylight savings time at all.
I love this. It's like all the different alternate universes.
Why is the sun already setting? It's summertime. It's supposed to be more daylight in the summertime. What gives? Oh, the days are longer, but you got rid of daylight savings time, so you didn't spring forward, which means you're going to see earlier sunsets during the summer that you're not used to seeing. So let me get this straight. The only way I can have those cool late sunsets in the summer, but I don't have to wake up in complete darkness in the winter, is I have to flip the clocks forward every spring and then back every fall, every single year? Yep.
That video is just so simple and so perfect for this whole debate. Do you want it dark later in the morning or earlier in the evening? Go ahead and let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and if you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel, and last but not least, make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss one of our episodes.